February 9th, 2023. Crystal's Powers. The book moved all on its own. It didn't just move. It flew off Crystal's desk, straight up into the air. Then it fell with a loud thump onto the carpet of her bedroom. Of course, at just that moment, her mother happened to be walking by the open door. "Crystal!" Her mom stepped over the threshold, eyeing the overturned book on the floor. Naturally, it had to be a math book. Her mom stood there, all 5 foot 4, all 5 foot 4 of her, even counting the curly afro atop her dark and smiling face. Everyone said Crystal was the spitting image of her mom. "This is not the way we treat books, Crystal," her mom said. "Is it?" "No, Mom." Crystal slid out of her seat, scooped the book up, and placed it back on her desk, all in one motion. Her mom's stern expression softened. "Are you having trouble with your homework? All you have to do is ask." "No, no, the book just slipped." Her mom raised one elbow and pursed her lips. She considered Crystal's response for a moment. Then she replied, "If you are confused, don't be afraid to come to Dad or me. Just because your parents are mathematicians doesn't mean you are automatically going to be good at it." "I know, Mom, but I'm good at math. It's fine. The book just slipped." "If you say so." Mm. Her mother smiled. "I guess I know that." She turned, stepped back into the hallway, and disappeared. Phew. That had been close. A second later and her mom could have seen the whole thing. She would have known. But known what, exactly? Crystal couldn't see. And she was living it. Was she some kind of mutant, infected with an alien virus? Could she really move things just by looking at them? Or was she hallucinating? No, those weren't hallucinations, she said out loud. What happened was definitely real, she thought, and it was happening more and more. She remembered clearly when it had started, about 6 weeks after they'd moved to Clearwater, away to Cute Town in upstate New York. Crystal had definitely not wanted to move, but both her parents had gotten jobs at a big-time lab called the Stephens Institute. The sleek, modern buildings were behind a tall fence on the outskirts of town. It's a major leader in bioengineering research, her mother had explained it exactly. It wasn't much of an explanation. The one time her mom had taken Crystal inside for a take your children. The one time her mom had taken Crystal inside for a take your child to work day. She wasn't impressed. The rooms were blank and boring, and there wasn't even a lot of fancy science equipment. What did you expect? Her father had joked. A scene from Spider-Man? Anyway, her parents were really happy about the move, and the town wasn't half as bad as she'd expected. There was a state college just a mile away, so there were plenty of restaurants and places to hang out. The kids at her middle school were from all over. A lot of them had parents working at the college or at the institute. She hadn't made any close friends yet, but she didn't feel totally out of place. Yeah, everything was just peachy keen, except for the thing she could do with her mind. If she looked at something and focused just the right way, she could make it move. It was like she could feel it with her brain. So far, she was a lot better at pushing things away, but she was starting to be able to pull them closer and even lift them. Crystal experimented, trying to see what else she could do, like read people's thoughts, but she'd been too scared to try on a human. What if they could hear her? She tried reading the mind of her dog, Buster, but didn't pick anything up. Maybe Buster didn't think much, or maybe her powers were limited to moving objects from place to place. Probably just moving stuff, she thought, laughing a bit at her for even trying to pass Buster's thoughts. Why didn't she just tell her parents, Mom, Dad, I have telekinetic powers? Because what if she really was hallucinating it all? And what would her parents do if she wasn't? Did Foster want to tell the whole world? And even if the government didn't send agents to dissect her or lock her up in a vault, she'd be a freak for the rest of her life. No, better to keep it, keep it a secret. Secret. For now, anyway. Crystal had to be careful, that's all. She had to make sure she didn't focus on a plate in the cafeteria and send it spinning into someone's lap, although that might be fun. So she was careful. She went to school and came home and didn't move things with her mind. It wasn't so bad, but she wished she could tell someone. Crystal's family had moved in the summer and now it was fall. The leaves were turning and the sun went down earlier every day. Crystal rode her back to school most days when it wasn't raining. It was one of the things she liked about the new town, the freedom to ride her back. One morning, on a windy day just before Halloween, she got a late start. She pedaled hard down the windy road to the low modern school building. Most everyone was inside. There was just one other kid at the back stand, a tall, skinny guy with a narrow, tan face and dark hair. He was wearing a bright green puffy vest and dark jeans. Crystal skidded to a stop just next to him and put her back to the rack. Then she leaned over to fumble with her lock. She was going to be late. "Hey, watch it," the kid grumbled. But she barely heard but she barely heard him, because there was a big gust of wind and a very loud crack right over their heads. And then a strange sound, like a large and heavy atom colliding with something. It all took place so fast that it was only afterwards, when she saw what had happened, that she got scared. A giant branch had snapped off the tree right above them and had fallen straight at their heads. They should have been dead, only they weren't, because the boy next to her had his hand up, and the tree branch was floating about 6 inches above his palm. Thank you for watching.